Today, it's all about the fuzz. So as you saw in the title, is the fuzz pedal the best pedal ever made? To me, 100%. If I had one pedal to pick and use forever, it would just be a good fuzz. Well, maybe we can sneak a wah wah in there too. Some people may think it's a one-trick pony and you just have one thing, this huge bombastic tone, but there's much more involved. There's much more that it's capable of, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, you know, we have this insane, warm, gritty, gainy tone records. I mean, Satisfaction was on a Maestro fuzz. You guys, Jimi Hendrix shaping fuzz tone, David Gilmour, band Spirit in the Sky even. You know, fuzz has been laced into 60s music, 70s music, 80s music. It's been all the way throughout. You can have, you know, your big muffs in the grunge era, but fuzz, some sort of fuzz is always interlaced within music. It's such an articulate yet simple design. Okay, a fuzz pedal wants to my ears and to the way it is designed, a fuzz pedal wants to see your guitar's pickups first. Full potential, maximum potential will come from the fuzz if you plug the guitar straight into the fuzz. Now, some people have different thoughts on that. That's fine. To my ears and from my research and what I've been doing, my playing, and a few of my other comrades, a fuzz really wants to react fully seeing that guitar first, because it's an ultra sensitive pedal. Yes, it is simple. It's such a simple circuit, but a fuzz is extremely picky. Obviously, it's favored for its huge tone, but a fuzz can, if set right, give you this clean, sparkling nature. They can give you this great sparkling overdrive. It can give you a big fat overdrive, and it can give you a fuzz. Now, this is all in one pedal. I'm going to talk a little bit about those steps, those different plateaus of tone with just one pedal. You can put a pedal on, turn your amp on, leave it on, using your volume control. I'm going to talk all about that. So the cleans, first of all, you'll hear a lot of people speak about, you know, the sparkling clean tone from a fuzz when you roll back on the volume. Greatly enhanced with a germanium fuzz, I find. With germanium transistors, I find that when rolling back the guitar volume, you get a real sparkling clean, not a thin note, but just the cleans are there, almost like you're playing through a clean amp again with no distortion. Now, some things that can aid you in that are, you know, higher volume on the fuzz pedal itself. If you have the volume way up on the fuzz pedal or the output, okay, in relation to your guitar volume, when you bring that down, you're working with a higher register of volume. So your cleans, your sparkling cleans are going to be more present. Also, using a treble bleed. A treble bleed consists of a resistor capacitor network and sometimes just a capacitor on the two lugs of the volume pot pictured here. There's three different methods to wire up a treble bleed. I've done a video about this, about picking a treble bleed. I do use it on my 59 Strat because I do prefer to have that kind of be the machine that can do it all. With the right value of treble bleed, you can really enhance those sparkling clean tones. You can enhance the taper of the pot. You can kind of make that all kind of work and blend into what you're looking for. And that's just for the sparkling clean. Now we start getting into the overdrive. As you start cranking that volume up more and more on your guitar, you start to add in this little hair at the edge of the note, and this little thickness, and these little distorted notes, but in small increments. So you're almost able to create an overdrive with your fuzz still on and it being a fuzz pedal. It's not an overdrive pedal, but with enough volume coming from your amp and the volume set just right on your guitar, you now have this great overdrive sound. And somebody like me, and I know a few of my other friends, JD Simo's been using an old fuzz vase. Phil Sayce, a good buddy of mine, that's one of his methods. You know, there are so many different increments of tone in the volume knob. It's just a matter of how much you're working it to get where you want to go, get your tone. And the possibilities are endless, because you also have a pickup selector switch, and you have 2 tone pots working with the volume knob and a fuzz that's kicking ass on the floor. I mean, you can tune in whatever you want. It doesn't always have to be wide, blown out, bombastic fuzz, you know. I use a fuzz a lot for an overdrive sometimes. Just dial it in just right and just walk around the house, you know, playing with a good overdrive tone. It's a little clearer than like a TS9, a little, this is going to sound like an oxymoron, but a little cleaner of distortion than with a tube screamer or an actual overdrive pedal. You have a little more snap up top. And, you know, it's just something that I favored. Like I said, it's a desert island pedal. I'll just leave it on all the time. I want to stress too is how much manipulating the guitar's volume and tone pots and the pickup selection. You know, a lot of times if we go in to play like a solo or a lead line, everybody just flicks it in the bridge because they're going to get the maximum cut they can get. You're kind of leaving a lot on the table, and you're leaving a lot of options unused. You know, manipulating the guitar's volume and tone is what is going to shape and give you these different tones, these different colors of your sound. You can see Jimi Hendrix using this a lot in the Monterey show. You know what I mean? And I really felt like when he said no buttons to push was a joke, because he was leaving the fuzz on. And when he goes into like a Rolling Stone and you listen to him get those clear notes and he's just swinging the volume back and forth, that's a clear example of, you know, the mastery of Jimi Hendrix and how he's using a pedal on the floor to his advantage. Stevie Ray Vaughan at the 1989 Austin City Limits, another great example of, just listen to the Tightrope solo, to the intro to Leave My Little Girl Alone. The fuzz is on, and you can hear those snappy notes when he's playing, especially in the in-between positions. Just phenomenal, and he's constantly working that volume knob. Guys like David Gilmour, guys like Eric Johnson, masters of what the pedal can give them, and the most control, being in tune with what's happening and knowing where they want to be, where they want to get that guitar volume knob to, where they want to have their fuzz set. They just figured out the recipe to get it to all work, and that's something that I strive to do, and that's something that hopefully this video can help you guys do. It's just really how to blend and get that perfect sound. You know, and the one thing about fuzz is in the 60s, there wasn't as many options as there is today. And you could either have something like this, which is a 68 fuzz face, or you could get something like this. This is considered a tone bender style pedal. This is the first version, so this is a germanium one. This is an old mid-60s Zonk that I restored with the help from my friends Joel and Germ Fuzz on Instagram. Just a really cool pedal. I got turned on to these after seeing Doyle Bramhall use them quite a bit. This pedal has become widely popular because of its octave nature, but also its fuzz tone. This is an original one, and I don't hear so much of the octave sound unless you do roll the volume back. So there's a perfect example of how manipulating those controls is going to give you a different tone. You get this pedal here, and when I set it up, I pretty much have them set up full out. So when my volume's all the way up, this sounds a lot like a Silicon, maybe a Marshall Super Fuzz in a way. Really, really bright, but stinging and thick. And then as soon as I just detent that volume and bring it back a little bit, I get all of those octave tones. So I can see why guys like Doyle like that, and a lot of collectors use these. These MK1 style Zonks, these early Zonks, are really rare, really collectible. I'm glad to add this to the collection because I am a fuzz nut, I am a collector, and I finally have one of these, one of the rarest. A BC 183 silicon version. So with the silicon transistors, you're going to get a little more gain, brighter gain. You're also going to get a little more output, I feel. And it's not necessarily volume, but I think it's high end that your ear kind of translates into output. To me, the silicon especially wants to see the guitar first to kind of give you a full sound. If you were to put this after something else, especially something that's non-true bypassed, you're really gonna take away from the fortitude that the fuzz can give. You're really gonna take away from the body. So I like to just plug my guitar directly into this and then, travel down the line. With, opening up these circuits and looking at them over time, these great pedal builders have given us their own take on fuzz pedals. And that's a wonderful thing because you can create these happy accidents, or it doesn't have to be punch and play, put all these things on a circuit board, solder them, it's done. Okay, some of the greatest things are altering one resistor in a fuzz and now you have 20% more volume. Or I use a different value pot. If somebody says, I'm gonna try different fuzz and volume pots, now you have a different ramp up of the volume and the fuzz itself. Different transistors, different gains. Transistors have a gain rating. Usually you like to match these or find out what works well with the circuit. But mismatching and trying different things can all of a sudden give you your sound that puts you above everybody else, or gives you your own voice when finding a fuzz. There are so many fuzz builders out there right now, and it's good to contact them and explain to them what you're looking for. So you want to bounce that off those guys and see what their recommendations would be, because they're going to stand behind their product and they're going to try to deliver what you want. That's just their creative liberty as a pedal builder. So don't think that it has to be $1,000 fuzz face or $1,000 Caesar DS pedal because insert guy uses it. Your tone is hidden right there in those two knobs on that pedal and those knobs on your guitar. The possibilities are endless. Whatever you can shape so much just by tuning this stuff in and going after your own sound. I do have the old germaniums and I do have the old silicon fuzzes, but for a pedal board, I've favored these early MJM germanium London fuzzes. This is a 2005, I believe. It's got the old NKT 275s, much like the old fuzz face. These have plenty of output. The fuzz is warm, and that's one thing with playing Fender amps especially you have to try to tame, is you can put a fuzz on and it just sounds really bright and hissy. So I like to find a fuzz that has a warm character, and these MJM ones have totally done that for me. And like I said, I do use a treble bleed, and when you're using a treble bleed and you leave the fuzz on and you back the volume off with a wah wah pedal, mind you, you're going to get some of the most clearest, organic, non-filtered, beautiful sounding wah. The wah will sound way more liquid and milky to me. It's just something that I've found, and this is a combo that, you know, like I said, Desert Island, if I'm allowed to have this and this, you can play anything, you know. Obviously you can't get your univibe sounds, your echo sounds, or your delay sounds, your chorus sounds, phaser sounds, but with this, you can take over the world. Some guy from Seattle did, you know, and this is just the most amazing combo to me. Definitely more options in a fuzz than you would think. It's not just a one-trick pony. Turn that thing up, mess with the knobs, mess with the dials on your guitar. You start tuning in some overdrive sounds. You tune in some sparkling SRV-esque type things. And then when you want to go full out, you know, it's like I said, Hendrix at Monterey. It's Cliffs of Dover. It's Pink Floyd. It's everything you want. Not all fuzzes are going to be created equal as well, guys, you know. If there's a certain thing you're looking for, you know, when you start incorporating things like an Octavia, an Octave, a Cobb pedal, even a Zonk like that, you know, and some of the tone benders, you're gonna kind of start thinning out. You're gonna start seeing different transistor types on the board. So you're gonna experience an overall different sound. So do your research, and like I said, for somebody who's looking at their favorite player, understand what else is in their rig that's making their stuff sound like that. You know, if they're getting this huge tight fuzz tone and they're using 200 watt amps with high powered speakers, well then that's why they're not getting any of that big flubby breakup. One of my favorite recorded fuzz tones would have to be off of Doyle Bramhall's Welcome record. That entire record has fuzz all over it, and that's the record I go to when I'm trying to tune in a fuzz to my setup. I just think that listening to that fuzz on that record and hearing how big it is and how it's fat and warm and just searing and has all the sustain. You know, I believe it was a germanium. Just my ears tell me it was a germanium. I'm pretty sure it is. But that's just that's my watermark when I'm trying to dial in fuzz stuff, because I think everybody should listen to that record and hear what a searing fuzz sounds like. And you know, we all have the studio stuff with Jimmy. We all have those bootlegs we can listen to. Philip Sace is known to dial in some amazing fuzz tones. Some of those Stevie bootlegs and everything, you know, after 88 into 89 and 90. There's a SRV bootleg called The Last Farewell. And you should really hear the fuzz tones on that. I can probably bet my last dollar was a silicon fuzz that he was using there, probably modified by Cesar Diaz, but you can hear just the ripping tone. And, you know, obviously Jimmy's recorded stuff, Jimmy all over the volume knob, turning up, turning down, just to dial in what he wants, his cleans. It's just amazing. The fuzz is my absolute favorite. Like I said, guys, going back to the question we asked in the beginning, yes, to me, this is the best pedal ever made. A wide variety of tones in one pedal. It's all there at your fingertips. Once you get comfortable with dialing it in and playing a lead line and clicking that volume back, it all starts coming to you naturally, and you just pretty much have everything you need right in this little circuit board with a couple of knobs. I hope this video has inspired you guys to hunt out your fuzz tone. I hope you enjoyed the tones. Hope you enjoyed the chat. Leave a comment. Please like, subscribe. It helps me out, keeps me going. We got some cool things coming up, I promise you. And we'll talk soon. Dig.